Welcome back. Um, I wanted to talk about this subject that is catching a lot of traction in the news and social media as far as sex trafficking, the sex trafficking of young girls and girls in general, and adult women at that, for that matter, also. Now, I think that a lot of laws are about to be passed and legislation because this subject is getting a lot of traction. And I want to know, how can you differentiate a person that has been sex trafficked and a woman that is a prostitute? Because I think that this is a very thin line, and it's a line that can be fabricated. And I know this from personal experience off of friends that I know that got into some stuff with women that were working with them, working for them. They were pimping this, that, and the third. And when the going got tough, they played victim. Now, it is what it is. It's illegal, but this is the world we live in. And everybody's not going to be doing legal stuff, and everybody's not a saint. We do have people that deal in underworld lifestyles and illicit lifestyles. Now, I am not for the kidnapping and trafficking of anyone. That's wrong, and these people need to be brought to justice. But when it comes to justice, how can we, like I said, how can we differentiate a person that is doing something by will and not by force? How can we differentiate a person that doesn't want to go to jail and lying and saying, I was taken against my will, this, that, and the third, in order to go free? It goes back to the girl that just got out of jail. She got pardoned, or her sentence got shortened. Centenoia Brown, the light skinned girl, she married somebody after she came out of jail. Like, a lot of people did not know this story until social media blew it up. I remember this story before Facebook and Instagram was very popular. I remember this story because they did a documentary on it maybe about 10 years ago. And the documentary was on YouTube. It was about a 2 hour documentary. And if you looked at all of the evidence that they brought to trial and this, that, and the third, that woman the way everything was told and brought to the forefront, that woman wasn't trafficked. She was a prostitute, and she had got the game with somebody, had a pimp, left the pimp, and then became an independent contractor. And you know the rest, or you know the rest as they tell it. But as it has been documented and in the trial, a dude caught her coming out of like a Subway's or a sandwich spot, propositioned her. They negotiated, went back to the crib, ate, got into bed, said he rolled over to get something. She got scared and found a gun and shot him. Blah, 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 blah. But in 2019 and 2020, it's easy for the media to flip things and social media to flip things and people's opinions of things to get in the way from logic and facts. So I think that with all of this stuff, because I was just looking online and there's a article on the AJC that's saying that there's a federal lawsuit against a couple of hotels in Georgia. One of them in Cobb County, where I used to stay at, in the Red Roof Inn. And they're saying that a lot of these hotels have willingly participated in sex trafficking and profited off of sex trafficking. And that's very vague, because you really have to give a real clear and true definition of sex trafficking. Like I said, because I've lived in those areas. When I moved to Georgia, I lived in that, literally, I lived across the street from that area. And that area is a nice area. It's a nice upper middle class area. And, you had your undesirables walking outside at night, and, they was doing business, this, that, and the third. Now, how can you differentiate people that are willingly in the game, or, on drugs, or have, this, that, and the third? How can you differentiate them from people who are really being kidnapped and held against their will? Because when it comes to a criminal, when their back's against the wall, a lot of them will do whatever they can to get out of jail free. A lot of them don't want to be embarrassed don't want to embarrass their family and be exposed as a prostitute. Just like a lot of these dudes don't want to be exposed as a dude that's buying prostitutes, this, that, and the third. So, I'm coming to question a lot of the government's laws and seeing whose interest is it really in. Are they really trying to help people? Or are they really just trying to use an agenda to help mass incarcerations and get people that are committing crimes off the street? Or are they really trying to eradicate sex trafficking? It's always been said that Georgia has been a big hub for sex trafficking. I've lived here since 2005. Look, I've been to clubs and I've been outside, and I was out when Buckhead was the old Buckhead, and you had 112 and the famous clubs, this, that, and the third. It's always been hookers out here, just like in New York where I'm come from. It's always going to be hookers in truck stops and places where strip clubs are near, and dirty, dusty hotels. I'm thinking that it's kind of sort of like, if you can't profit off of it, if meaning the government, you got to find a way to shut it down. Same way they shut down Backpage. They couldn't profit off of it like they're profiting, or, the government is trying to profit off of marijuana by making it legal and trying to validate its legality. And the United States doesn't want that blemish on them, because they'll be looked at as a third world country, just like these other countries that people go to buy sex, and they don't want that stigma on them. But I really think that, anything that the U.S. government does in order to pass a law or pass legislation is really not in the best interest of the victim, and is really not honest and pure. And more people wind up getting arrested than they should, and the real people that are the main ones that are really doing the crime and kidnapping these people really don't get brought to justice at all. Just a whole bunch of people that's trying to get their rocks off. And then on the other end, women that are just trying to get money off of men that are trying to get their rocks off. And now they will be judged as sex traffickers. I want your thoughts about this. If you can, like, subscribe. I'm going to put this on the YouTube channel. Share it if you can. Peace.